Hello, everybody. Welcome to lesson 4. So there's a lot to go over here and a lot of information I'm going to be bringing up. Some of it's a lot of it I'm going to be reading off of my computer from my book in order to gain to be sure to hit the to address this topic in the fullness that I believe it needs to be. If race war, salute, welcome. Yeah. So the alpha male. I've got a blurb here written. I'm going to read out about what an alpha male is and what it isn't. Okay, so alpha males are often called the caregiver in chief because they spend so much of their time looking after the concerns of their group. An alpha male can't afford to allow resentment against him to fester. What's up, brother? Yeah. Even in primate societies, the smallest male can become the alpha male if he has the right friends or if he has the support of females. A lot of the information I'm going to be addressing here comes from chimpanzee societies and wolf packs. A lot of human behavior can also be observed in some animal species, tribal, or not tribal, but pack animals tend to have the same types of social rules as us humans. So a lot of the information I'm going to be addressing here comes from those types of observations. Anyway, yeah, so if he has the right friends or if he has the support of females, right? Females being valuable, everybody wants to get some pussy. If a guy's got a lot of pussy, that pussy has influence, and you can use that to bring him to the top of the society. People will always plot and scheme against a selfish leader, and in a situation where everyone wants your spot, it would be stupid to create enemies. Alpha males are intelligent and charismatic people who excel at gaining the respect and goodwill of those around them. And that is what you could define an alpha male as, right? The alpha male is the leader of a group, and people will not be led unless you are a person that they want to be led by. And alpha males, or leadership and power, is what gets pussies wet. It just is. So if you want to if you want to arouse a woman, you've got to be climbing in your influence, let's say, in your societal influence. Anyway, yeah, so in chimpanzee society, as well as in, let's continue with this. Alpha males are intelligent, charismatic people. They're generally empathetic people who know instinctively what others want and need, and who people believe can give them what it is they desire, right? People choose an alpha based on their belief in that alpha male, right? An alpha male is everything to everyone, but still enjoys his position at the top. He has his pick of females, and he also has the most powerful position. Although he receives many benefits, his position comes at a very heavy price. The alpha male must keep those who support him happy, or he will lose their support. He must make good decisions that are beneficial to the group, otherwise he will not be the leader for long. He must always be aware that everyone wants to take his place, and will do so if the opportunity presents itself. It's very dangerous at the top. So the alpha male is generally very cunning and intelligent. He must stay at least a couple steps ahead of the competition at all times, or someone more cunning will replace him. Think of a king. He has the power to make anything happen with his words. Yet he has the responsibility of keeping the kingdom in relative peace and happiness, or he risks being overthrown. The king is the alpha male in his kingdom, but he must always guard against potential threats. It's the same for any alpha male in any group where there is competition for women, right? That's why we strive to be alpha males, is power women. It's why we work as hard as we do, and most of most of our motivations as men can be deduced down to getting pussy and getting better pussy, right? Like, most of what men do is designed to increase our chances of reproduction, right? So, an alpha male is, I would say, it's basically a leader, a person with say. There are many ways to get to the position of alpha male. It can be your inherent traits, right? There are inherent traits which will be more likely to get you to the top in a situation, which oftentimes, that's really where we work at a lot of. We try to develop the most, because if you have the internal characteristics of an alpha male, other people will begin to see that and give you their support, right? An alpha male has to be chosen. Unfucking an alpha male is chosen by a group. He cannot choose himself, right? Followers choose a leader, right? And alpha males are skilled at helping people to select them as a leader, more than so it's not just going to the bench, going to the workout, going to the gym and working out. That doesn't make you an alpha. Also, the more belligerent and you see, if you're a belligerent, aggressive person, that's generally not the person people would choose to lead them. The person people generally choose to lead them is the person who has the skills and ability to bring the goal to fruition, the goal of the group into fruition. Whoever has the best abilities, generally the most intelligent, and the most intelligence and observantness, right? So your ability to observe situations, and your intelligence, and I got the squirrels all coming up to see me. It's okay, squirrel. Your intelligence and your abilities to kind of build plans on the fly, in plans that work, right? So a lot of times, many people get the idea of what, like, especially I had in the MGTOW community, there was a big thing about alpha males, and they were always like, oh, alpha males are like this and that, and they painted the alpha male as a brush of, like, the big musclehead moron kind of guy who's aggressive and bullying everybody. That's not an alpha male. Aggressiveness and bullying, well, who the hell wants to be led by a bully? You may have a few people that you bully around and you lead, but how worthwhile then is your group, right? How worthwhile is your group if there's one alpha male and a bunch of bitches that are just getting slapped around by you? You don't have an effective group, and so you failed as a leader already, right? The alpha male should make his group better, right? Your group should be, the group who has selected you as the alpha should be better for a more capable, because they've selected you as their alpha, right? That the alpha male is a responsibility more than it is a badge of honor or a characteristic or a type of or a character type. I mean, it can kind of be a character type, but it's more like captain of the football team, type of character type. Or let's see, another character type is the teacher in a classroom is also an alpha male. The father of his children, a family, the father in a family, right, is the alpha of that family, should be, right? Women make terrible leaders. It's not in their DNA. They haven't been doing it for millions of years like we men have. And that's why I believe a lot of our societal problems today stem from that. So, characteristics of the alpha male. Let's just brush through some of these characteristics that I've got written down. I haven't published this book yet, but let's see, typical characters. So self-reliance, right? Alpha males can often be considered to be self-reliant, right? Generally, if you're living at home with your parents, or you're dependent on others for your very survival, you're probably not an alpha male, right? Alpha male should at least have the ability to take care of himself, if not having the ability to also take care of others. Authority. How much weight do your words carry? Right? How much stake do people put in what you say? Right? Authority is very powerful. It's, that is how you get things done. Right? If nobody was listening to the demands of a king, he would not be a king for long. He would not be a king. Right? If nobody listens to what you have to say and you have no authority over anybody, you're not an alpha male. Respect. How much respect do you garner from people? Right? When people look at you and they address you, do they disrespect you? How do you handle disrespect? Right? Respect is very important. Inner strength. Right? An alpha male is not following the crowd. He's leading his group. So if you're not leading, if you don't have the strength to lead your group, you're not an alpha male, right? If you've got every decision you make is one with the thought of, oh, what does everybody else think about this kind of thing, right? You're trying to be, trying to follow trends. You're trying to be fashionable. You're trying to follow. You're not the alpha. You're a beta or even an omega, right? So there's no. The alpha male has the inner strength, the inner fortitude to go against, say, social norms, has the inner strength to follow through with his decisions, whatever they are, right? Like even if you're, a general in an army and you've got to make an attack, the alpha male will have the courage and the inner strength to follow through with, his plan. Influence, your influence. How influential are you? How much, how influential are you to her, right? If you want to seduce a woman, influence in your general vicinity, mostly wherever you are. How much influence do you have? This is also why celebrities, rock stars, all this gets so much pussy. They're influential. She herself is influenced by you. If you have the ability to influence the thinking of others, chances are you're an alpha male. It's a strong characteristic. Direction. So it's more of a self-directedness. So when you're an alpha male, generally would have a plan and a direction with which he's doing things, with what he's hoping to achieve, right? And he's got a direction that he's moving towards, and a sticking to that direction as well. Principles. So this is another thing. Us men, a very manly thing is principles. Women don't have so much principles, and they've evolved not to, really, because their situation has often dictated that they have to go against things that they were taught before. Women have the ability to change their principles on a dime, whereas men, we live more by principles, because they allow others to trust us, right? When somebody knows what type of principles you have, they will know, they know generally what type of things you will do, and they're able to trust that, right? They're able to trust in your principles. It is a man's principles and his ability to stick to those principles which garners trust and people's faith in you, right? And you need that, confidence, right? People have confidence in your principles. Like, this guy's not going to rip me off. Why? He doesn't rip people off, right? If you're seen as a person who has no principles, who's going to loan you $100 if you need it for something, or who's going to loan you, say, a piece of equipment that might be worth a lot of money if you're an unprincipled person? Nobody has trust in you. And women need trust in a man. We're going to get into that in this lesson. Standards. Now here's something very, very important. Just recently spoke with a guy, and he said, and I said he was out of a relationship. He'd been with a girl for a month, and she'd just left him. And he said, and I told him, hey, I'm a seductive motherfucker, man. I know what I'm doing. He's like, well, and he asked me, well, what would you do, right? What do you suggest? And I said, well, first off, what are your standards? What is the bare minimum that you're willing to accept from a woman, right? Principles show value, and they give the instant you show that, or not standard, the instant you show that you have some standards, that she has some measurement she has to meet in order to be in your life, whatever that measurement is. She now is in a position of, oh, do I meet his criteria? She doesn't have that safety of automatically like, oh, he likes me. Do I like him? She's now in a frame of, oh, does he like me? Am I up to his standards, right? Puts you in a position of value right away. Your value goes up dramatically, and she's now in a position, and you're also a challenge to her. You instantly become a challenge because you've got standards, and in everything you do from that moment is gauging whether or not she meets the criteria to be in your life. So it's very important to have standards. What standards? Well, she's got to be high, right? Like, you've got to be beautiful. Let's say that not necessarily for everybody. Somebody may say, no, I don't need looks. I'm good with loyalty, right? But as soon as you have a standard, you begin to instantly measure her against that standard. And the minute you start to measure her against that standard, she realizes that she can fail, right? So there is that, and you have to have that, because it's like, okay, if you show, like, see, even if looks are not your standard, you're like, okay, I don't mind, women who are not aesthetically the most beautiful women in the world, but they've got to be 100% loyal and dedicated to me and subservient, let's say. And the minute then right away you're gauging, okay, is she submissive to me? Is she following is she doing what I tell her to do? Does she seem loyal and dedicated to me? Right? You're now looking for, is she fitting? And she knows it. She feels that you're putting her you're holding a measuring stick to her, and now she begins in her psychology to want to meet that measurement. If she perceives you to have enough value to be enticed to want to meet your standards, right? Alpha males don't whine. Part of being a man is accepting what is and then finding leverage. That's true. So that was my last little thing there. There's a bunch. I got little blurbs on there. Eventually I'll publish this book. I've got a ton of stuff in there. But it's not easy, and right now I'm doing it on live streams and video, and eventually I'll take a lot of the information out of these videos and I'll go into further detail in my book. Attraction is not a choice. This one saying that David D'Angelo used to say, and I really I agree with it. I find that attraction, it is not a choice. As a man, you see a woman who is, her health indicators are there, and she's got the right health indicators. She's of a fertile age, so she's displaying fertility signs, and she's signs of fertility, age, and then physical attractive features. Your dick's gonna get hard. You know what I mean? There are some women that just meet all of our standards, basically, in that way. Like, you're going to instantly become attracted. Doesn't mean you're going to instantly want to fuck her, but you will become attracted. Attraction is not a choice, the attraction. Women are not, they're not looking for fertility from us, and they're genetic traits for both sexes, yes. although they differ between men and women, but they generally just show healthy genetic bloodlines. Healthy genetic bloodlines, and indicators of that, physical health, and what else would the men find attractive about women? Youthfulness, the ability to bear children into the future. Right? These are things that the instant we look at a woman, we begin looking for these things. What is she looking for? Alpha male characteristics, right away. The instant you start showing her alpha male characteristics, she starts getting warm for you. And she can't help it. She cannot help it. It's what she's genetically been looking for since the caveman days. Why? Because these characteristics also were characteristics that would show her the ability of being able to provide for her, and would increase her chances of survival and genetic success, reproductive success, right? All human instincts can be boiled down to reproductive success, right? These characteristics are all there to signal, our genetic success. There's been characteristics of human beings that would be more likely to survive throughout time than other human beings, and we've all been searching for these since since the caveman days. And so yeah, and the same thing is, it can be seen in chimpanzee society. So in a chimpanzee society, which would be very similar, the characteristics. See what happens. It'd be very similar to us. There are our closest relatives, and their nature is essentially the same. The only difference is we've gone against nature. We're now living in a society where beta males are, because of this monogamous thing that we have going on in our society, beta males are finding reproductive success, and it goes against nature. Women would rather be shared would rather share an alpha male among themselves than to give themselves to a beta male. Beta males are dangerous to women, right? So that's why she's turned off. But throughout history, since the caveman days, she would have needed beta males as well. Like, she needs to be protected. Somebody's got to be providing for her. It's not like she's going to go out with a fucking spear herself and go spear herself down a deer and go and eat it. You know what I mean? She's not a man. She's not capable. Her body's not built to be running and able to chase and catch a deer, and the physical strength to kill the deer with a stick or any of these things. She lacks all these things, and she needs a man in order to do these things. And so this is also in our genetics. This is why women will, if they cannot find an alpha, they will go with a beta male, and they will mate and pair bond with somebody that they're not attracted to for survival reasons. Does not mean she's going to be happy about it. You know what I mean? Does not mean that she's going to be emotionally fulfilled, or that she's going to be getting a wet pussy for the motherfucker. Female arousal is not necessary for reproduction, right? So it gets pretty complicated. It gets kind of complicated, right? It's kind of like, but it makes sense. Right? If we take it and just be like, okay, sperm wars theory and what? Oh, fuck me, man. I'm trying to roll a dude, but it's too windy out. The traits that have survived past longer, and it all just comes down to that. It's pretty funny, but alpha males, the captain of the football team has always been, or the tribal leader, she's more likely to survive with the tribal leader than she is with anybody else. Also, the group, everybody in the group also is looking for the tribal leader as well. He's the guy everybody wants. So demonstrations of that are very powerful. Very powerful. Run very deep in the female psyche as well. Millions of years. And that's what seduction is about. Seduction's not about, hey, look at how well I can take care of you and the nice dates I can take you on and all the shit I can buy you. Seduction's about giving her a wet pussy so she forgets everything. The only way to do that is to seduce the primal cave woman inside of her. It's the only way, right? Because we all have, we have instincts, and if our instincts are telling us, hey, this is the motherfucker, that's all she needs. Same as with us. We see a beautiful woman, in her early 20s, who is, her health indicators are there, and she appears to be fertile. We are going to, we're going to be attracted. We will be attracted. The reproductive success, that's what we're looking for, right? That's the human condition. Now, there's a lot of lies permeating our culture based about these things, and we like to believe them because the lies are very comforting to us. But if you are not a leader in any way, you need to become one. Now, it doesn't always mean... This is the thing, right? It's like, I used to go to AA, just going to AA and taking part in a meeting, getting up and talking in front of the group, talking in front of everybody. That alone is attractive, right? Anything you do where you're the center of attention and you're in a position where you're telling people stuff, you know what I mean? You're the alpha in any room, is attractive to any woman in that room. Not so attractive that she's going to rip her clothes off and want to fuck you right away or nothing like that, but it's you're in a much more attractive position. So you should seek those opportunities. If you get up to the front of the room and you got a deep voice, you've also got some charm, and people are responding very well to what you're saying, she is seeing everything she needs, right? She's seeing everything she needs. And that'll go anywhere, from the boardroom to the construction site to your kitchen table. It's the same thing, the masculinity, masculine presence. The feminine is attracted to the masculine. And as much as we are being destroyed culturally, this remains true. 100%. 100% true. 100% of the time. So why acting tough doesn't work? This is the thing, right? A lot of guys, we got a society where everybody's trying to be an alpha. Right? I was talking to a kid that works with me. Well, he did anyway. Over the summer. He worked with me over the summer. And we were talking about rap music. And I asked him, why do people listen to that shit? It's got no talent. He goes, it's the only tough music. So you listen to it in order to look tough for other people. See, women are very smart. Well, equally as intelligent to us, but they're using more of their brain than we are. So subconsciously, we all process this. We all see other people. And so when you're listening to a certain kind of music in order to influence everybody else, so that everybody else perceives you as more of a tough person, everybody sees that. And unconsciously we realize that that's the furthest thing from tough, right? So there's a difference between acting and being, right? Like, so for me, I listen to opera music. Opera music. I like opera metal. That's a good one that I often will. I like a lot of different things that are very different. I like to be different because it takes strength to be different. It takes no balls to follow the crowd. But if you're following the crowd, you're not going to lead it. You're not leading the crowd, right? So anyway, leadership takes balls. And there's no getting away from that, unfortunately. And anything you do that goes against societal norms is going to be attractive because it takes balls to do that. And balls is a masculine thing. So, acting tough is see-through. Everybody knows that when you act tough, it's because you're trying to put out an image. Well, why would somebody want you to think that they were tough? Why would somebody want to influence you that way? Because if they were tough, they would simply handle whatever situation came their way and continue in a more effective way of being. So if you're acting tough and you want people to be scared of you, obviously you're trying to prevent any kind of challenges to you, right? Otherwise you wouldn't act tough. Everybody fucking sees you, man. You know what I mean? Everybody fucking sees you. You walking around like a fucking hard-on with the fucking all wearing all black and gray, and you're trying to fucking be a big tough guy. And the more you front, the more everybody sees through you and realizes you ain't fucking tough. And some people got people fooled. Because we have, you can fool someone in the beginning, because if you look like the characteristic or character type of a tough person, we all have the same societal archetypes brainwashed into our head, so we'll all assume that you're tough right away. But women, their inherent nature is to get to know who the fuck you are deep inside. They're all detectives, and it's been their survival for a large part throughout history has been dependent upon their ability to detect bullshit in men. But they will accept you so long as you fulfill their requirements, so what they're looking for from you. As long as you fulfill their requirements, they will be with you. Does not mean that they will be loyal to you. If you are the top, all the time, her top pick, no matter where she goes, that's the only way you'll ever get loyalty from a woman. Only way is if you are clearly, obviously, the top choice all the time. Otherwise, if somebody who displays the characteristics better than you, somebody who is better at playing the game, they will steal your woman. They will fuck your woman, and she will bring you home sloppy seconds. Just how it is, man. Right? Men are wired for loyalty because we've been in armies, standing armies since the dawn of time. Women are not, because when their man dies, she's always needed to be able to pick up and move on to the next man and forget your fucking ass. The survival of herself and her offspring has always depended on that. That's why after a relationship, she might cry a little bit, and she fucking forgets you right away, and she's off doing her thing. Because they're not wired for loyalty. Only we are. We have different natures. Because we have fulfilled different roles throughout society, throughout our history. Whatever reason, man, my fucking joint is just not working well for me right now. I gotta re-roll it. Anyway. So acting tough does not work. It never will work. People can see through it. And even if you fit the archetype in the beginning, she'll quickly see that that's not you, and her pussy will dry up and she's gone. Trust is incredibly important to a woman. If she can't trust you, then if a woman can't trust you, throughout, if you take yourself back to the tribe and you think you can think about caveman society and the tribe, and think about anything that would be a benefit to her in that situation and to her survival in that situation throughout history is going to be strongly represented in her DNA and in her genetics, right? These are going to be instinctual drives. Because the society that we're in today is very different from the societies we've had in the past. We have a Marxist influence, which is trying to restructure our society and take push every. We got this fucking shit going on in our society that's it's very damaging. But it could be that's a population control thing or whatever. I don't know. Whatever it is, a lot of our ideas that we have in our heads have been brainwashed into us by this Marxist ideology, because this is permeating the media, and so and it's always directly opposite of everything else. It's like you never see movies where you know, bosses, when the boss fucks a guy, when somebody's boss fucks their wife and it's in a movie or whatever, the guy's, he's never, I don't know, it's never displayed accurately. The simp gets the girl. If you just kiss enough ass, you're going to get the girl. And, even his ideas of, like, no matter how much money you got, her pussy ain't going to get wet. Like, well, she has to build it inside of her own mind. She has to build her own desire for you inside of her mind. And she can only do that with what you provide her to get aroused by you with. You understand? And she's getting aroused by who you are. So the picture of you, of who you are in her mind, is going to dictate how aroused she is with you when she's going to have sex with you. Because she has to build that inside of her mind. The whole female orgasm is psychological. And attraction is also psychological. So on a subconscious level, she has to choose to be attracted to you. She'll do so subconsciously based on information on your behaviors. Same thing goes for men too, right? We build images of women. Like, we just see a woman for a few minutes and our dick's hard, and all of a sudden, like, she's fucking virtuous, and she's this and she's that, and she's all these things inside of our mind. She doesn't necessarily at all match our image. Now here's the thing. The closer your image is to what she perceives of you over time will dictate the length of your relationship. The minute she starts seeing that you're not really the guy you pretend to be, her pussy starts drying up. She starts looking for other options. The minute she finds a better option, or she finds something else to get intrigued about, you're gone. Right? This is why our relationships fail so much. Because we're all worried about building the right image of what we think we are, and none of us really know ourselves. But if you don't know your own behaviors, you don't know what you're projecting out. This is why self-reflection is so important. Because she catches you lying to her once, you're fucked. And most of the times we lie to a woman, we're lying to her subconsciously. And she starts seeing that she can't trust you, she starts looking out for herself instead, right? She is naturally a supportive character. She generally prefers a supportive role, a supporting role in the relationship. That's why you've got to be the one leading the relationship, leading. This is our goals, this is our plans, this is what we want, and you've got to be bringing it there. And she will put she wants to bring all her resources to support your image. Oh yeah, man, they do. They want to be they want you to have the vision, and for them to be supporting that vision, they want a vision brought to them. They don't seem to have the creative intelligence that we men have. They seem to have more, although they are highly intelligent in many different ways than us, they don't seem to have the creativity, and that can be displayed by how many inventions have women made compared to men, and what have they invented, and compare that to what men have invented. And it's all bullshit that men have all the opportunities. We've been working all day, every day for our entire lives providing. Well, hey Watson, come on over, buddy. come on over, sit down. I'm just doing my lesson here. I got a lesson. Didn't know you were on your way over. Hey, bro. Oh, did you? Oh, come on up. Come on up. Sit down. Shit. Well, guys, I got a friend over right now, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to end the live, and I'm going to redo this lesson later on today. I appreciate you guys for coming. I think the next time I hit it, I'm going to try to hit it a little bit better for you, so definitely tune in. Probably 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock this afternoon, around there. I'll schedule it, because I can see myself already. Some of the presentation here, I'm not presenting as well as I would like to present, and I'm not hitting a lot of things that I'd like to hit. So I'm going to redo my lesson plan here a little bit, add a few things in, and redo the lesson later. Thank you guys very much for the support, man. I very much appreciate everybody who's on right now. I can't tell who's exactly on at the moment, but I do appreciate you being here, man.